there it will be, and how you are going to use your knowledge in that environment in the real time scenario. So there were all different kind of people with a different mindset and with a different opinion and everything. So the kind of approach he adapted for this training, I really like it. So be able to apply the values and the three pillars of the Scrum uh, in a practical way. So I really like that. And I just came to know about the few basic concept about the Scrum definition, Scrum planning, and daily Scrum, sprint review, and the retrospectives and all. And mm, uh, I find it really useful uh, uh, because like it's a kind of what you can, it's an organized approach to handle any project and as a team and a work and the environment. Also it helps in the company's growth as well as our own self improvement also. So I really like it in that way. So overall I can say it was a good experience for me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and rest of the things, I think you are here. So I'm really thankful to you that you are here to clear our doubts. So,
Oh yeah, yeah.
this,
Anytime, anytime.
so
Yeah,
this
we
is
we are all
really,
one team, right? Yeah, anytime.
so
Yeah, yeah.
thank you so much. Yeah,
On
that's
10,
all from my side. Yeah.
thank you, thank you. On 10 scale, on overall, how much you rate it, Soumya?
So, from both the days performance, I will say I can't go more than 6. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
because maybe my lack of knowledge, not the trainer's lack of knowledge. It's maybe because of my lack of knowledge, I feel like.
yeah. There is another trainer called Akash. Actually, he's very good at it. He's very good.
Hmm.
He's very good at explaining concepts. So next time onwards, I will ask them. Um,
Actually, what happened in most of the time, it was like a conversation,
right, right, right.
right? So these people like to talk much, I feel like. So that's what happened.
Yeah, it's like more interactive, right? So it's like
Yes,
more
yes.
dialogue, and make sure that it's pretty much like a real time class, right?
Yeah, but I think it's good for the experienced people very much. But the kind of workshop, it was good, like it was giving us a real time environment, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So the kind of teaching it should be, it's
yeah,
just my point of view, but it's still yeah,
yeah.
giving
Should
a
able to
content.
accommodate everyone, right? Yeah,
Yes,
it should be
yes.
like that. Yeah, got it. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Soumya. Yeah. So, Vindhya, would you like to share, yeah, your experience?
Yeah, Anna.
Yeah.
Even I will rate like a 5 or 6 because some of the points I can't understand.
Mm-hmm. We will definitely discuss. No worries. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and even I like the workshop, but one workshop that Scrum values I can't understand, Anna.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not able to understand that one, and
Right, right.
when doing that workshop also at that point of time which I have my group which was which that trainer allotted,
Yeah.
they did not even discuss also, so I can't able to understand that.
Right, right.
But overall it's good only to
Yeah.
know some different kind of tool is it's always good, no?
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, pretty much in the pretty much in the workplace, right? So pretty much it is like agile and scrum based methodology nowadays. Because almost all the projects are going on in a very short timelines, right? So the knowing these concepts actually really give us confidence. When we go to the real time environment. Yeah, it's good actually. Yeah. So we can supplement. We can supplement whatever we discuss there, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Padmini, would you like to share a few points, or at least how do you like it?
Yeah, it's very new to me, the IT,
Okay,
but
okay.
I
No.
understand the concepts
Mm,
and that they teach, and
mm.
I like the assignments. And
Right, right, right. So
overall, overall
overall.
it's okay, but
Mm, yeah.
his accent also sometimes.
Right, 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 right. Yeah, yeah. It's like
Yeah.
somebody told me who. Yes, Somya told me it's like a Portuguese or
Yeah,
like a little bit
Yeah, he's He's half French and half Portuguese, and some of the words I think he can't spell them. I think some of
Right, the
the
retrospective was totally he would be able to
yeah.
say.
Yeah, yeah.
I followed, but I
Right,
understood something.
right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Razi, I mean, Soumya, Vindhya, and Padmini Garu, they attended the session last 2 days, right? So yeah, they completed that by end of Friday. So just it is like a, you know, um, like a kind of, summary or introspective session kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I'm really happy to that you're organizing this meeting, because I was just wondering like how they feel, especially everybody is new to like this ideal industry. So since it is like 8 hours, that means I felt it's like dumping everything together. Because it's new, it takes a lot of time to process. So I just wanted to know everybody's opinions. How did they feel about it, since it is like literally overloaded, like 8 hours, it's literally like all together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm just listening about, I mean, their opinions and all that stuff. So
Right. Feedback.
This is
Yeah.
Raji, right? Raji?
yeah.
So Raji, from my point of view, like I know before, like I studied before, like Scrum and Agile. So
Okay.
so it really helped me that to try to understand, especially the Agile methodologies and the principles when he was teaching. The principal part was totally out of control, actually, the way he was teaching. But
Okay.
just because I know all the principles and how to apply those, because I have read that before, so it was easy for me that time to understand. And
Right.
I really feel, because these two topics are really, really very interesting. It can be more interesting, but literally some of the point I was feeling sleepy in the training. I
Yeah.
don't
I
know.
mean,
It's
all
it's
of
it's
that
like eight
is
hours
like,
classes are like that actually. Yeah.
okay, it's like maybe since you are like a little bit a little bit
Yeah.
earlier, like, so it might not be boring or like sleep. I mean, it might not be boring, but like as a new person, like a new person, like 8 hours, like not only you're sitting or listening,
Yeah.
you have to understand, you have to get it too, right? Like the concept as much as you can. So I was just talking about the time perspective. Basically 8 hours and 8 hours. I mean, 2 hours, maybe 4 hours, it might be okay, but like how you guys take like 8 hours like per day.
And I just want to share one thing. For me, Scrum is very new to me,
Mhm.
but when we are thinking that morning 10 to 6 means it's 8 hours, we'll be thinking, oh, 8 hours like that. But when we started the class, I
Uh-huh.
think we won't feel 8 hours. It's almost 8 hours like that we'll be feeling, because for every 2 hours he's giving break. And
Yeah.
Okay.
I
And
listen through
and
my
and
friends that
yeah.
morning 2 breaks they are giving, and evening after lunch they are giving 2 breaks, like that. Total 4 breaks they are giving. But
Oh,
for
then
us,
it doesn't even, it's not a big deal then.
yeah, for
Yeah.
us, with a weekday trainer, he gave only 2 breaks for each every 2 hours. He gave 2 breaks, and by 5:30 he completed the training. Like that we did. But when we are doing the workshops together, we are doing like
Yeah.
breakout rooms. We
Yeah.
won't feel that much. I think
That helps.
I
That
I
helps.
felt
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm.
since
I
you're
do.
saying
I do
like you're
agree.
getting a
Yeah.
break for every 2 hours, it's already like a small break. I mean, there is already not the continuation, so it feels better. And when
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're doing with as a group and so, it will be much like
yeah,
And,
not
Yeah.
and and involvement,
not
total involvement
isolated.
because
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
this
not
hands-on
isolated.
workshops
Yes.
helps actually.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 Got it.
And that
That's good.
workshop is also like almost like 25 minutes or 30
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
So that much time he was
Yeah.
devoting for the workshop. So it
Yeah.
was a
Mhm.
pretty good time.
So
Okay.
Raja, how it happens, if I mean I'm throwing an example, right? So if there are like
Mhm.
30 members in the class, what they
Uh-huh.
will do, they will split like six people each. And I'm giving an example, right? Six people each as a team. Let us say
Okay.
there are like 5 teams, 5 by 6, 30, right?
Mhm.
So during this interactive, hands-on workshop, right? So we will be pulled into our individual team. So by that team, by continuously work with our rest of our team members, there are 6 people. By now,
Yeah.
we get to know them. We feel comfortable to work with them as a hands-on exercise.
Mhm.
So that will be more interesting actually, as the time progress. It may not be with the first 1 or 2 exercises, but the later on, we know our 6 people, just 6 people, right? It's like a small team. So we will get to know them, and it's like more collaboration.
Yeah, now I came to know after they're talking that
Good.
now I came to know there are not only it's just like teaching, there are workshops and
Hands-on
breaks and
workshop,
all
yeah.
that stuff. So
Yeah.
now I can say it is not gonna feel like you're working like 8 hours straight.
No, not necessarily. Yeah, not necessarily, but
But still, I will suggest go for the Indian trainer, please.
yeah,
Okay.
definitely. That's what I'm
Yeah.
taking the feedback. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will go for that. But the thing is, he owns this company actually. So he has like 2 companies or something, but he works full time with Salesforce. So that's why most of his schedule is open over the weekends. So but anyway, I will encourage our team members, right, to take the classes over the weekend, so that we can hit his actually timelines. If not, then we might have to go for another instructor, like what we had this week.
And Raji, one more suggestion: if you're planning to take uh, training,
go
so
ahead.
whenever the trainer will suggested assign you any breakout room, so just initiate it, huh? Because most of the time people don't talk and initiate for writing and all, and by the time we are losing the time. So just be the leader, or just ask the person who would like to start like that, and just the people are really cooperative, like okay, you take this responsibility, and just start writing on the sticky notes by
Yeah.
yours, and everybody is started. So by doing this, you're not losing the time, like who should
Okay.
start, who should do this. So just be proactive.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
And one of the hands-on exercise, we have to write down the tasks on a sticky notes. That's what she was referring, Soumya.
I
So
understand now.
it's a
Yeah.
collaborative. It's a collaborative exercise. Generally, if out of 6 people, if 1 or 2 people are active, right, the remaining, some of the remaining people
So
just be
many
like a
times it
spectator.
has to be somebody to get
Right.
and
Take the
get up
initiative.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Thanks, Soumya. Yeah. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. My team.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is my team?
Green.
Green.
Yeah. So yeah, now I'm sure that you guys can see my screen. Good. Yeah. So this is what, out of these 30 people, they will split the people into separate teams, right? So this is what happened. So let me go through my notes quickly. So what I did, I took notes myself while I'm going through this one. Yeah, system model change, Agile, Scrum framework, Scrum roles, metrics. This is what they share it, right? About the Scrum framework, and what is the product backlog. They will explain all these concepts, right? So let me go to the diagram actually, then we can talk better. Agile is a process, method and methodology. These are all like definitions. We can get those definitions anywhere. Just we are trying to get a concept, then things will be very easy. So did he explain like Kaizen, Agile Kaizen, speed up continuous improvement? So there is a
Yeah,
let
he
us
explained this diagram.
Yeah.
explain. Yeah,
Yeah.
but mostly we don't use all of them at the workplace. So these are good to know concepts, but we don't use them at the workplace. So I will take you directly what we use at workplace. So this Agile, right? Right? This Agile is not only the Scrum. There are like extreme programming, Lean, Kanban. There are like multiple, there are like a multiple frameworks actually. They fit under this same umbrella called Agile. That's what he gives like a diagram, like extreme programming, Scrum, Lean, Kanban. These are all come under this one umbrella, like Agile. It's not like one single program. So what we learned, this weekend, right? That over this last week, right? That is a Scrum. That is a Scrum. But similarly, there is another set of certifications like a Lean Scrum also. Yeah. So we don't have to worry about it learning, multiple things. But Scrum is good enough to start with. So
And like I heard about the Scrum ban also. I think the instructor was saying it's now like not in there. So it's true. Like
yeah, Kanban he did not explain, but actually at the workplace, what happened, when we use the tools like Jira, so there is two options actually. Either we can have a Scrum dashboard, or we can have a Kanban dashboard. So Kanban dashboard is like a more graphical representation.
yes.
So like you guys did the hands-on exercise. So Kanban is like a drag and drop, like sticky notes, what you guys do.
Right.
When we write something, you are dragging, right? Starting in progress, completed, you keep dragging from left to right, right? So Kanban is pretty much like that. The same tasks, you can drag and drop. So yeah, he might have explained this one, right? Synergy. Which is complicated, which is clear, which is complex, which is chaotic. But the thing is, we don't use them at the workplace. Actually, this is good to know concepts. Actually,
I don't remember he
Pardon.
explained this.
No.
oh,
No.
maybe
No.
he did not. Yeah, okay,
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did not tell this to me.
okay. But we don't see it. We don't see it in the exam. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
see some of these diagrams, right? I collected in my class actually. So no, he did not explain everything. My instructor also, while he was teaching, right? So I collected them from internet. So generally, this is the one, right? We deal with this. What is the scope? How long it takes, and how much is cost, right? Any task in software industry. These are the three things come into play. Okay, what is the scope? In how much we need to do, what we need to do. So without knowing that what need to be done, there is no way we proceed further, right? First of all, somebody has to define the work. I want this much work, or I want this kind of work. So they have to define the work, what they want. So once they define the work, then we can plan like, how long it takes or how much money it costs. Money mean, the cost mean is like hours, the resource hours. For example, if somebody asks us, hey, I want a website design. The website should be having this login features and security features. So that is the scope of the work. It need to be very clear, because before we commit the work, right? Before we accept the work, the scope is very much important. Based on the scope, then I like, oh yeah, this is not that much complex, so maybe it takes like 40 hours of developers time. Or oh yeah, it has additional security features and it's a bit complex, so definitely it takes like 100 hours. So that's what we have to evaluate. So that comes with multiple parameters. That comes with experience, mostly with experience. That comes with dialogue, right? Dialogue. So we don't commit to the stakeholder upfront. What we do, we discuss with the team. The team compromises, the team comprises different players, right? So they're like a business analyst there, there's a developers there, there's a like a product owner, so there's a like a scrum master, there's a multiple players there, right? All of those people, they come together and they agree for, oh yeah, this kind of scope takes like 100 hours or something. So that's what they do. And the time, yeah, the 100 hours, if you convert those 100 hours, billable hours, right? 100 hours, if average, if somebody charges like $60 per hour, so that is the cost, right? 100 hours by 60. And 100 hours tells about time. If there is a week, people work like a 40 hours per week. So 100 hours mean it will take us like a 2.5 weeks. So the time is 2.5 weeks. And what is the cost? To 100 hours and $60. And if we need 5 resources, then 5 by 60 by 100, right? So we have to calculate that one. So, but first of all, to calculate anything, we need to be very clear about the scope, cost, time. So this is one more example in a work breakdown structure. Any work. First of all, we have to break in a granular form. Small individual blocks. It's like Legos. So if you have to build a big Lego block, right? What we do? We will divide all of them into the small Lego blocks, right? So similarly, any project, any work, what we have to do? We have to split it to the activities, minor activities, which can be managed individually. Those are called activities. So project, phase or deliverable, work package. And again, it got divided into activity 1, activities 2, activities 3, right? The same project will be divided into small blocks. So think about like Legos. When you think about, big Lego structure, right? So, how you do that? You work block by block until and unless we don't break any block. So that's where we start from, right? It's like a brick by brick. So this is what, this is a work breakdown structure.
So, can you put that? Yeah. So project I understand, phases are I understand.
Yeah.
So work package is like something like
Part of it. So subset
like
of
the
it.
requirements, like yeah.
Yeah, work package can be, you're right, actually. Work package can be anything, like requirement gathering
And
and
the
designing.
activities, okay,
Yeah, yeah, designing. In the work
okay,
package, again, see, work requirement gathering. Again, the requirements, product backlog.
okay, yeah,
Product backlog is a big list.
right.
The whole product backlog can be having like, I'm throwing an example, right? The
Hmm.
product backlog can be having like a 200 tasks. But we
Right,
are not going to address all the 200 tasks at the same time, right? What we are going to do, we will pick up like a 10 tasks or 15 tasks or 25 tasks. That
yes.
is the subset. Out of 200, we pick up 20. Let us say 200 out of 200, let us pick up 20. The
Hmm.
20 we address them in the sprint one.
Right.
So the 200 is a product backlog and 20 is a sprint backlog. So who will decide?
Yeah.
The team will decide. It's a collective decision. There is no, as they said that, right? There is no boss there, right?
Right.
So as a team, people take a decision. So they have internal discussion, and out then they will see, oh yeah, this is our priority. Let us address 1, 5, 10, 7, whatever, random numbers I'm giving, right? So out of those 200 tasks, let us address all these tasks, first 1, 5, 7, 9, 10, whatever, right? 20, they pick up like a 20 tasks, and they will address in the sprint one. Once they're again sprint one, in the sprint one, they will plan for the sprint timings. They say like, oh yeah, these 20 items scope is this much, and it takes this much complexity. So let us think, let us plan, like, this sprint takes like a 2.5 weeks or maybe 2 weeks. So the sprint will be locked, right? The sprint, there are 20 items which are going to be addressed in 2 weeks, and the team already, they will decide the team, then they will start working on it. To check the progress, it's not check actually, but to collaborate the progress every day, they have a scrum call. Every day there is a scrum call. But once all the 20 items is addressed, and that is the end of the sprint, so then they have a sprint review. In the sprint review, even they invite the external party stakeholder. See, for example, we are developing a product for a merchant called Macy's. So we will even invite a merchant representative to the sprint meetings. But once the merchant representative is gone, then there is an internal meeting. So in the internal meeting, that is total internal meeting. So even people can first vent their frustration, even they can throw, they can talk anything, because that is an internal meeting. But when the customer is there, when the client is there, so the sprint meeting is pretty much, sprint review is pretty much like it's a formal meeting. So this is one point. And the lean, ITIL, Six Sigma, these are all like different methodology. We are going to learn something about Six Sigma. We will do some certifications in December. So that's what we do. So leading input and indications. Yeah, it's pretty much like a collaborative, right? Collaborative environments. And as long as like our in the Scrum boot camp, when people start giving like a lot of input, and they start open up, they start collaborating with each other, good product, right? If like one person he keep playing with all the sticky notes, and other people were watching like a horror movie, that's not at all a good show, right? So same thing here. Scrum, the beauty of Scrum is pretty much it is like a collaborative. There is no boss there, there is no one to report there. So it is assumed that everybody knows their responsibility, and they mutually respect each other's role, and they do that. So that's what here. So poor input and poor output performance, of course the quality will be weak. And good output but poor input performance, obviously that is also not good. Good input but poor performance, that is not good. But actually, what is the good part? Good input and good output performance. So this is all like very generic, like if you take anything in the life, right? So it is like a communication, right? Communication, collaboration, and not only giving a good input, but also we need to put in good actions, right? So yeah, these are very easy. They think like in a very generic terms, actually. Yeah, there is nothing much weak. Yeah, it's not very complex actually. Extreme programming. Extreme programming is like it's really tight deadlines. So first they pick up like a story, they release the story and accept the testing, and again if there is come back, again they will come back. They do it like a cycles, so until they meet the actual release, small releases. This is like extreme programming, pretty much like a Scrum only. So is Scrum also pretty much right? Out of the big product backlog, we pick up the small subset that is called Scrum backlog, and we keep repeatedly hitting until we are done with the sprint. And once we are done with the sprint, again we will go back to the product backlog and we will pick up the next set of items. So that is called sprint 2 backlog, product backlog, sprint backlog. So Six Sigma, this is Six Sigma. We don't have to worry about it. Six Sigma now. There is no exam. So this is one more diagram actually. So what is a Scrum team, right? Scrum team is like we know that we can start with product owner, because product owner talks to the stakeholder, merchant, client. In this case, we are talking about Macy's, right? So product owners talk to the client and he gets all the requirements. And then the Scrum team, Scrum master, and the rest of the players can be developers, BA, tester, right? Any one of them can. This is the Scrum team. And this diagram actually I collected it. See, the product backlog is a big one. You see, here the product owners talk to the stakeholder. In this case, stakeholder. Think in the mind, and whenever they use the word stakeholder, think about that external client, Macy's. So product owners talk to the Macy's and they collect all the product backlogs. And out of this product backlog, he takes a small chunk of it. That is called sprint planning meeting. In the sprint planning meeting, they pick up a small one. So to give a differentiation, you see that, right? He gave like a different color code. One is like orange, so a different color code, right? So out of those big set, for example, 1 to 8, he pick up like 1 to 3 in the sprint 1, 4 to 5 to 6, second sprint, third sprint 7 and 8, like that. He's splitting. So who will decide? The whole Scrum meeting may be part of this sprint planning. Sprint planning, they will see that, okay, what is the priority of the tasks and complexity, scope and everything. They will pick up a subset of it and they will start addressing it. So the sprint is like a 1 to 4 week sprint, right? Sprint is like 1 to 4 weeks, and there is every day there is a Scrum call. Scrum master, he facilitates that. He doesn't boss it, but he facilitates it in a daily Scrum meeting. Once the whole Scrum, the 1 to 4 week Scrum is over, then when the finished product is there is a sprint review. And the sprint review, even we can call the stakeholder, Mrs. But once he is done, internally, there is a sprint retrospective. So if you understand this diagram, right, there are like, we can answer easily 5 or 6 questions. So there are like 5 or 6 questions around this one diagram. So that's why I collected these diagrams while he was giving class and he was explaining all of them. I was like, okay, that's great. But let me put like one architecture diagram, right? So that's what I pick it up. So even, here you can see that, it's like a Scrum team, that who is a Scrum team. So this is like a Scrum, cycles, product backlog, sprint planning, sprint backlog. These are the pretty much the phases of the Scrum, right? One diagram talks all of it. So here you can see that stakeholder, product owner interacts with the stakeholder, and he pick up everything product backlog. Then everyone in the sprint planning to pick up the sprint backlog. Same diagram, but in a different way. Sprint goal, sprint roles in 1 to 4 weeks, sprint backlog, daily Scrum. Once it is done, sprint review, sprint retrospection, product backlog refinement meeting. In the product backlog refining, what they will do? Hey guys, last time out of 1 to 200, right? Our product backlog. So we address like a 1 to 20. So then they will decide that, okay, good. So next what we, it's like all like communication. So then they were like, okay, yeah, sure. Product backlog can grow also. Product backlog can grow based on the work, based on our work, based on the sprint releases. If they find some issues or something, even they can readjust the product backlog.
So,
but
and
once
based on new requirement also.
Yeah, new requirements also will come. But
So
see, software always there should be scope for
we can add on. Yeah.
product backlog can add on actually. Product
Change.
backlog can order. Yeah, we can add the things. We can reorder the tasks.
Okay.
So whatever tasks look really important, right, in the sprint 1, but once we deliver the sprint 1, we may not feel the same. Or maybe meanwhile stakeholders say that, hey guys, can you help us with certain tasks now? You can postpone certain tasks later. There is always communication. So we can always reorder it. But once they start the sprint, they won't change it. Actually, it's pretty much like locked. But product backlog, we can play around with that. Product backlog is like a big set, right? So we can, that's what it's like, a product backlog refine meeting. They can keep changing.
So this refinement meeting will be
After the sprint, once the sprint is over.
what exactly?
Yeah. So refinement meeting is
After a sprint. Okay. So
after,
retrospective only.
yeah, pretty much, most of the time, it can be like a retrospective. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because the retrospective is pretty much like internal meeting, right? So stakeholder won't be there. So in the retrospective meeting also, they can discuss the next work actually. So what can be done, what they can improve, all these things can be discussed.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but typically we don't see this step actually. See, product backlog refinement meeting, we don't see that, but it is pretty much, I think it overlaps with the sprint retrospective.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So because if you see this, right, so we don't have the role like a product backlog refinement. So that's why after the sprint retrospective, actually pretty much they can discuss even this. Yeah. So sprint review, it's like when does it take place? On the last day of the sprint review. So sometimes there is a little confusion between sprint review, sprint retrospection, right? That's what I grab this one. On the last day of the sprint, after the sprint review, and typically on the same day, there is a sprint retrospective. And one more important thing is timelines. How long each process takes, actually that is important. There are questions, 5 or 6 questions on that one. So sprint review, you see, product owner, scrum master, development, and stakeholder Mace is here. Sprint review, but sprint retrospective, so that is our internal meeting. We don't call the stakeholder, because internal meetings sometimes they can go a little bit beyond out of control, because it's agile is a little bit time sensitive, right? So can be stressful also. So people, that is the internal platform where people can vent their anger, frustration, whatever it is, or whatever complaints they have, they can share it actually. So we don't want to expose all of them in front of our customer, right? Stakeholder.
Yeah. Basically, it is for our inner improvement, right? Self
Improvement. It's
improvement.
like
Yeah.
it's like a family talk.
Right.
when,
Right.
when
Right.
when relatives visits, everybody behaves very well. When we give them see off, then close the
Right.
door,
Right.
then actual show starts. So here, right, review delivered
Right.
in increment. Here you see, review delivered increment, update the product backlog. See, update the product backlog is pretty much like a backlog review. Backlog review we can do even in the sprint review, not the sprint retrospect. Review delivery increment, update the product backlog, preparation for the next sprint planning, we can do it here. Here identify what went wrong, what went right, what can be improved, improve culture, re-energize the team. So retrospective is pretty much like a resources. See, after this 2 to 3 weeks sprint, right, people can be exhausted, right? So it's pretty much like re-energize them, and and it's a genuine open platform to hear from each and every resource, if they have any concerns, questions, and if they see any improvements. It's like it's an open platform, an opportunity for all the team members to express themselves. But here it is a sprint review, they can readjust product backlog based on yeah, they do that actually. So work risk, yeah. Yeah, who asked me? Vindhya, you asked me this question, right? How do we calculate this points actually? If any given task, how do we calculate the what?
You
Yeah, story points actually. They call it like story points. See, story points is pretty much like complexity and a time, complexity and a time. There is no rule on the rock. It is pretty much like a mapping. If it is more complex, if it takes more time, then the story points are more. I mean, its weightage is more. If it is like a easy task, and if it does not take much time, right? So the story points are less actually. I mean, its weightage is less, or complexity is less. Story points is nothing but the complexity and how long it takes. If it is see, it's a lot, and huge. And you see that, right? Here it is, the story points, it's a huge. Story points are 8, and it is a piece of cake. It's a simple task. It's like 0.5 and a no-brainer, very simple to do that one. See, from work and risk and dependencies. There are like multiple parameters, but you can see, keep seeing that. The more and more it is becoming like a big task, risk is more, and dependence is a lot, and unknown, there are a lot of unknown issues. Then you see that, right? It carries a lot of points. You got it? You got the clarity?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what, there are multiple factors we have to consider. So you might ask me like, how do you know that? It comes with experience. It comes with a little experience, because when we start working on it, right, then we should be in a position to give an estimation. So if we don't understand the work, right, how can we give the estimation, right? Even though we give the estimation, so that may be maybe it may not be close to the reality, right? It's like expectations versus the reality, right? So it comes with a practice, and it comes with the dialogue. We are not only the sole player there to take the decisions for the whole team, right? There are like, it's a scrum team, it's a team effort. So everyone come together, can discuss, can say that, hey, no, this task is more complex than what we thought, and there are few risk factors here, there are dependencies there. When there are dependencies, right, if our main task depends on another 3 subtasks like 1 2 3, so until and unless those dependencies are over, we cannot do anything on the main task. There may be some waiting period there. You got it, right? So we need to wait on 1 2 3 finish there. Even though 1 2 are completed, the third one is still pending, then we cannot handle this main task. So that is pretty much like a dependency. So dependencies sometimes they can delay. So that's why in the Scrum meeting, Scrum Master will ask, right, hey guys, is there anything I can facilitate? Then we can say, hey, our main task depends on, there are 3 subtasks, 1 2 3, 1 and 2 completed, but subtask 3 is not done it. Then, is there anything I can do? Yeah, the subtask 3 is with some other engineering team. So if you can get it escalated with their boss, and if you get any traction on it, and if we can finish it on task 3 also, then all the subtask 1 2 3 will be done, so that we can complete the work on main task also. So dependency is also very important actually. There are some unknown issues, we don't see that before we start the work, we don't see that, but in the middle of the work, or while we are working on it, we see some issues actually. See, sometimes what happen, some network changes or something, this kind of hard, network issues. So we may not, we may miss that kind of details, or we may not see it in the planning phase, but while we are working on it, they will surface. So we cannot say that, right, oh yeah, we did not plan for that, we are not going to do that, right? So we have to readjust. So there are dependencies, there are some unknown issues, and risk and work factors. All these things comes with the practice and communication with the team. So this is yeah, you see that, right? He gave an explanation of different roles, what the developer does, what the product owner does, what the scrum master does, right? So here, this is, I took comparison between product owner and scrum master. There are a few questions here actually on these two guys roles, and even the developer roles.
So is this slides is from your actual training?
Actually, while he was explaining, actually I did my research, and I grabbed these slides from internet actually.
Okay. So
Yeah.
not from the training
not
itself,
not from
because
the
we
exact,
didn't see these slides during the training.
these are not from the trainer actually. I did the
Yeah.
notes actually. See, we
Yeah,
use
that's
Scrum all the time, right? So while he was
right.
working on it, and I was doing a parallel research, and for the benefit of our team, right?
Yeah,
So
thank you. Yeah.
yeah, I try to capture the diagrams, because see, diagrams talks a lot, right, instead of theory, right? So that's what I capture. I know that this product owner and scrum master can be confusing, few roles here and there, right? That's why I capture, like, a differentiation table. So that's what, this is my notes actually. So system thinker, these are okay. I mean, these things actually, whatever it is, these are the trainer, Samya and team. These are from the trainer, screenshots from the trainer, but these are yeah, collection.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, here you can see that, right? Deployment frequency change these things actually, highlight high. So some of the things are like, a scrum checklist. What are the checklists we need to do that? So some of the things may be not related to this exam, but I capture it actually anyway. Same thing actually. Delivery performance, deployment frequency, how frequently we want to deploy it, time to restore the service, changing failure rate, elite, high, complexity kind of thing actually. So Yeah, Agile is like a maturity continuing model covering differences, right? Ad hoc, team agility, scale agility. So this is all process actually. We don't see anything on the exam actually. So influence change, data sheet, culture, structure, technology. Yeah. So this is from the class. Schematics is like a class actually. This is not so much important. It's like a radar on the radar kind of thing, right? Um, on the radar is like a kind of dots where we can see where the work stands. This is called health radar, agility health radar, but I don't see any questions on the health radar. So this is just understanding. Actually, I captured one diagram, health radar. See, I mean, the
What
thing
this
is,
diagram do exactly?
so within one glance of this diagram, you can see
Hmm.
that where the tasks are. See, for example, when we give a reports to the C level, right? CTO, executive level, right? So we
Yeah.
don't give like 100 pages diagram and we'll ask the CTO, read this one, you will get a clear idea about the program. We don't say that, right? So time to time we have to give the status of our project
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
upper management. So
Okay.
generally what we do, right, we will give a pictorial diagram. So in one
So it's a kind of burn down chart.
yeah, kind of yeah.
Okay.
So here it
It's
is like
like bar charts or
bar chart.
Gantt charts.
Yeah, bar charts, Gantt charts, those are all project management tools, right? So
Mm.
pretty much we derive those charts, we derive those diagrams from the data. We have the raw data, we have all the data. So instead of throwing all those raw data at the management, right, what we do, we draw a diagram. So once they look at the diagram, they're like, oh yeah, so we are within the boundaries, and okay, there are few red flags, so what is going on? So they get an idea actually. So exact to level, just they want to make sure that everything is in order, right? They want to make sure that house is in order, right? So this kind of graphical representation helps the management to take a decision appropriately. Yeah, we don't see the question on this one, but just I grab it actually. Agility health radar. So portfolios, programs, teams. We talk about it actually in our project management. Portfolio have like a multiple programs, and multiple programs can have like a multiple projects and teams actually. This is like project management concept. So portfolio can have like a multiple programs, and program have like a multiple projects, and multiple teams can work on the project actually. It's like a one to end relationship. So this is in the Jira actually we use this one initiative. They call it like initiative. Initiative is like Epic can have like a multiple tasks. Tasks can have like a subtasks. So initiative, like the company wide initiative. What is your company wide initiative? Like merchant initiative, like SS. So what they have like a what is that? If they have like a jewelry department, like clothes department, or like other accessories department, so they can again initiate that one Apex, and again Epic can have like a multiple tasks. See, it is basically the main idea is the more and more you divide the main task into easily manageable subtasks, like Legos, like easily manageable blocks that is easy to conquer. So the more and more we keep it at a complex level, it's very difficult, because the more granular level, right, we divide it, so we can assess, we can calculate the risk factors, time, scope effectively. So that's what actually. So company wise, think about it. Company wise, it is company wide initiative. The company wide initiative can divide into multiple scope epics. Multiple epics can divide into multiple tasks or story point, they call it story point, and multiple tasks can divide into subtask. In Agile Scrum, you hear the word story a lot. Story is nothing but a task. One of those items is called task. That is called story. So people use them, story or task, both are the same. Okay.
So epic is kind of one big epic story. Like we have
Initiate.
to granular the stories in a different
Yeah.
task.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Initiative is like organization wide. Then epic is like
Yeah.
subsection, like a department wise in the same organization. Then
Yeah.
story or task and subtasks. So this is not from, this is, he did not explain in the Scrum meeting, But we use this story points initiative in the workplace. That's why I thought of
Yeah, I
putting
think
one.
from BA point of view is very important.
Very, yeah,
Yeah.
BA, project management, and Scrum
Yes, yes.
Master. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So some of the things I did it because based on my work experience. So I added like a few points actually. So this is see product backlog. Product backlog is a very big one. We start picking up like a part of it, chunk of it as a Scrum backlog. After Scrum, 2 to 4 weeks, again we get back, we will get the next chunk. So pretty much like this one, this diagram. So yeah, here the big product one, then small part of it, sprint backlog like that. So that is the diagram we took it right. So from internet. So but this is the instructor's notes. Yeah, this is the instructor's notes. Yeah. So actually average Scrum size 3 to 9 people. 3 to 9 people. Average Scrum size 3 to 9 people. Yeah, again the roles. Scrum Master. What are the Scrum Master roles? So I know when you guys do this hands-on exercise, did you guys do that? The roles of the Scrum Master, the roles of development team, the roles of product owner. Did you guys do that?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I thought of capturing a few. Scrum Master is he's a part of Scrum team too. He's a collaborator. He's a protective because he has to safeguard his team members. Is a helping, is a problem solver, is a communicated and available, is a knowledgeable, right? So that is what. So what is a development team? Is a Scrum team member? Of course, they are also part of Scrum team, right? Cross-functional, self-sufficient, self-organized. Because self-sufficient, why? Because whenever they need to give an estimation, development team they have to give estimation because they are the one actually work on the task, right? Is skilled, communicated, and available. Is accountable. So development team is accountable for their own work. If they give the junk work, again they have to redo the work. So if they deliver a quality work, that's good. They don't have to redo that. They give a quality product. So they are responsible for their accountability of their work. So development team. So similarly, this is a product owner. Product owner is a part of Scrum team too, is a good communicator, of course. He needs to talk to stakeholders and he needs to talk to the communicator of the team. So bridge the gap between stakeholder and the development team. Development team, they won't go and talk to the stakeholder, right? Product owner. So holds the account. They can talk because they can invite the stakeholder to the Scrum meeting and they can invite the stakeholder to a sprint review meeting. What is that? Sprint review. Yeah, but actually it's not like day-to-day activity. So day-to-day product owner, he bridges the gap between, he talks to them stakeholder and he talks to the development team, he talks to the Scrum Master. Yeah, holds the accountability, is decisive, is communicated and available, accept the responsibility for the product. Anything to do with product owner, product backlog, it's empowered to make decisions, as a business. Yeah, just a thought of giving a little comparison, like that. I grab them. So there is one. Yeah, this is important actually. Timelines. The sprint is like, sprint is like 2 to 4 weeks, like, even it can be 1 week also. Sprint is like a, maximum 1 month sprint time. But the sprint planning, initially the sprint planning, from the product backlog to sprint backlog, right? 8 hours. And daily Scrum meetings are like 15 minutes. Sprint review is 4 hours and sprint retrospective is 3 hours. You got it? Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, there are questions on this one actually. There are questions on it. Sprint is max 1 month, planning is 8 hours, daily Scrum is 15 minutes, sprint review is 4 hours, sprint retrospective is 3 hours. And the sprint review and sprint retrospective can take place on the same day. They don't have to wait on next day, but they can take place. But already considering 4 hours, 3 hours, so it's pretty much like 8 hours a day, right? So they are hitting. Yeah. So this is important. Okay, you guys take a note of it. What we give investment, it's like return of investment. Actually, return on investment. Return of investment is what we are giving and what we are getting. So return of investment, when you are, it's like business, right? When you are investing something, we are expecting, right? So is it really worth, putting that much money, efforts? That is called return of cost and benefit. So what is return of investment? Return of investment cost. It may not be in the exam, but just I share it actually. So
Again,
again,
this ROI topic, he's just explained in a very difficult manner, actually.
yeah, it may not be in the exam. Don't worry about it. But it's
But
like
yeah,
written up. Yeah. Same thing like a business. We put some money, we are expecting results, right? We
Yes,
expecting
yes.
profits. It's like, so if it is not worth, right, why would we put that much, efforts on it? So
True.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you see, right, guys, right? Sometimes people abandon or leave the gold mines. If there are a gold, I mean, I'm telling I'm talking in a real world example. People know that there is a gold mine, there is a real gold in the mine, but actually companies, they leave the gold mine. In Atlanta, north side of Atlanta, Dahlonega, there is a gold mine, actually, old gold mine. So people know that there is a gold, and but why they are not doing it, right? The money, whatever they are pumping in to extract that gold, right? That's not worth actually. So sometimes whatever money they put in to take the gold in a commercial level, so the returns are less, or maybe the returns are less than what they're put in. What they will do, they simply, it's not worth, they leave it. So that's what, like, a cost and benefits, anything, like, when you invest something.
So this should be on the very starting of the project when we are initiating, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Before starting it, actually, before starting work itself, we think about
Yes,
it, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
like a
from the project product owner's hand, or
planning,
uh,
actually. Planning, I mean, product owner can discuss with the team also, Scrum team also. Even they can do the Scrum planning, they can do that if it's really worth to do certain tasks.
or it is possible that only sales team is deciding.
No, not one person, not one person. This is
Not
like
one person.
it is like a
Okay.
collective. See, the thing is, the cost mean it not necessarily money, right? Number of
Right.
hours,
Right.
number of
Right.
hours the development team put. So product owner cannot promise something on behalf of this development team without talking to them, right?
Right. Right.
In
Yeah.
the software industry, that one also happen. This product owners or project managers, sometimes they promise to the client moon. They promise
Yeah.
him a moon, but meanwhile the development team say that, how can you do that without discussing it? Because there are a lot of complexities. Because product owners may not be that much technical. They may not see all the technical details. So it's like a joint efforts. Or at
So we
least
did. Yeah.
he has to discuss with both parties. Talk to the developers, talk to the stakeholders, talk to the stakeholders, talk to the developers. It can be like back and forth.
Yeah. That's why he raised this point that being a from the technical background, it helps the product owner and the
Yeah,
scrum
yeah,
master if they are
yeah,
from the same background. Like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
They don't have to be master in it, but at least to know that
Yes.
actually in and out of
Right.
it. That's why, see, I'm encouraging all of you guys to learn all these concepts, right? I'm not encouraging you. I'm not telling you guys go for the scrum master job, right? So whatever job you take it, right, at least it will give some technical background. So then we know that what we are doing, right? So yeah. So requirement, product backlog, same thing actually. Product backlog, then Scrum backlog. We cover it all on the diagram, and the timelines. What the 3 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours. So this one actually. So there are questions actually. There are questions on it. Definitely, don't take it easy, guys. So there are questions on this one. We will cover it. Sometimes what they will do, right? There is a little calculation actually. What they will do, if a task involves like a if a task involves like a 4 weeks, 4 weeks, and if the task involves like 4 weeks, there is a for sprint review, there is a 1 hour, 1 hour per 1 hour, 1 hour per week. How much time take it like this. They won't ask directly, but there is a little calculation. You have to see that how many weeks of sprint, based on it, just you have to calculate that. But most of the questions are like straightforward. If you can remember that, this is good actually. You will figure it out. It's not a big deal. Maximum 1 month sprint time, planning 8 hours, 15 minutes, 4 hours, 3 hours. Okay. Out of these 5, if you remember this, there are questions actually. So definition of done. Okay, what is done, right? So developers are always in a rush to say, oh, we complete the work, we are done. But what is done, because so unit test passed, code reviewed, acceptance test criteria met, functional test passed, non-functional requirement met, product owner accept the user story. So at the end, product owner accept the user story. User story is nothing but a task, right? Earlier we discussed, right? So we discussed that, right? Initiative. Um, yeah, here it is. Okay, I think we'll go down. Yeah, here it is. Initiative, epic, story. Story is nothing but a task and subtask. Yeah. So when any task is done, so there need to be certain points, right? So yeah, unit test passed, code reviewed, acceptance criteria, function testing. See, if somebody I'm giving like a generic example, right? If anyone say, yeah, somebody took a contract of, building a bridge or road, right? So when the contractor say, yeah, it's done, but immediately, there will be engineering team, they go and test it, right? When they say that, okay, done mean what is done, they have to follow the proper plan and everything structure and everything properly done, right? There is a checklist actually, done, 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 done. Then they're like, okay, it met all the requirements, so it's done. Similarly, software is not an exception, right? So here also same thing. When any task is done, testing should be done, code reviewed, acceptance criteria met, function testing passed, non-function test requirement, product owner accept that. At the end, it is product owner, he should say that, okay, yeah, you complete the task, good. That's good. Okay, stakeholder. Again, same thing. Product owners talk to the stakeholder, represents needs of the stakeholder, and communicate to the team. So product owner is pretty much like a bridge, right, between the team and the stakeholder. And the product owner maintains. So there might be a question: who maintains the product backlog? Product owner maintains the backlog, product backlog. Okay, and conveys what stakeholder wants, and also share their feedback with the team. So in the what is that, sprint planning, product owner tells that, hey, stakeholder wants this feature instead of 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 10, right? So stakeholder wants 2 5 7 9. So these things should go first, he can um, he represents both of them actually, stakeholder and the team. So that is one. And agile benefits, what is the agile benefits? Just a conventional programming. Agile benefit is like a study agile benefits. So um, compared to other methodologies, actually self-funding point and of project breaking. So agile like a steep, it's there is a cost and efforts, it's a cost and time. Agile benefits are like a solid. So product daily sprint. Yeah, it's like daily scrum meeting, then sprint meeting, then there is a release, there is a product portfolio. Yeah. So there's a like multiple planning structure. This is not from the class. Actually, I captured like a little bit more diagram. So he's our actually one guy asked a question. Actually, I noted down. Who is responsible for hiring and bringing in the required number of team resources? Hiring is out of Scrum preview. Pretty much individual team managers are responsible. They will decide to send the Scrum meetings. If some dude asked a question in the class, actually I noted down, if developer team has a 10 developers, maybe 2 to 4 developers will be part of the product Scrum. The remainder might work on the other products. Yeah, friends, I would like to tell one more thing. Company, in company, there may be multiple Scrum meetings, there may be multiple teams working on different Scrum meetings in parallel. So don't think that whole company wise there is only one Scrum meeting. There may be multiple team Scrum meetings. So what they do, right, if there is a development team has like a 10 or 15 developers, right? So the development manager will allocate like two for Soumya's project, two for Padmini's project, two for Vindhya's project, two for Raj's project. He might allocate like that. So if all of a sudden some developer one nice morning he decided to leave the company, so that's not the Scrum team's role. Then again they will go to the development manager only. They will ask them, hey, we lost one developer, we need a developer, right? So then he will allocate to another developer, or if he does not have anyone to allocate, he will hire someone. But it is a cost consuming to hire someone to bring him on board and then allocate in the Scrum. So that's why in the Scrum meetings, in the Scrum planning, they have to consider this factor also. What happened if somebody leaves all of a sudden? They cannot wait for the new guys will come join the company and he gets the knowledge transfer, then he get his hands ready to develop. It takes months. Our Scrum sprint timelines are like 2 to 4 weeks. There is no way you get a new one, train him, and put him in the Scrum meeting in the 2 to 4 weeks. The time will be lapsed, right? So that's what they have to consider multiple. Instead of depending on one resources, they might ask for, hey, we need 2 developers. For all these needs, the Scrum team is like it's a temporary exercise. So they pull like 2 business analysts from different team, 3 developers from development team, one BA, one QA resource, right? Once the Scrum is over, everyone will go back. Everyone will go back, and or they might be allocated to the different Scrum. You got it? It's not like a permanent structure. It's like a team for cricket team, right? They pull people from different states, right? They pull everyone. They play together. Once the match is over, they will go back. So they decided to play for other teams also.
But if we talk about the project point of view, like it is
Yeah.
possible that most of the people are working for the same project only. Like it will be good for the company as well as for the project also.
Not necessarily, because that's what I was saying, right? Company can have like a tons of projects, multiple projects.
Yeah. So we are talking about a team here, right?
Yeah.
So it is possible that product owner is handling multiple projects. So he like we are talking about here one project. One project is having one team. Under one team, having all these Scrum things is happening. So we are discussing that only, right? Now we are going from the management side now.
Management
As-
perspective. I mean, this is what actually
Yeah.
somebody asked that who is responsible
Yeah.
for hiring. See
Yeah.
this.
Management.
Hmm.
Yeah. Got it.
This Scrum is like a temporary adjustment. You pull two resources from here, two resources from there, like this, right? You form a team, temporary team. Once Scrum is over, sprint is over, everyone goes back to their original team only. So they're part of their original team only, but it's like a logical segregation, logical separation.
Okay.
But see, if I'm a developer, right? If I'm a developer, I report to my development manager. The development manager may not be part of my Scrum initiative. See, for example, I tell you, there are like 4 projects going on, 4 projects. So 4 Scrum teams, right? So if I'm a development manager, I have like 10 resources. I will send two resources. So they go to the Scrum meeting, like 15 minutes call. They come back and they do their work only. Every day they report to me only. They don't report to Scrum Master, because in Scrum team is like everybody is equal, right? There is no reporting structure there. Actual reporting structure is within the organization. Like, they are my resources. So if the Scrum Master need anything, he will come to me. Hey, we think we need one more resource. Then I will allocate one more resource. Then he will go finish the work and come back.
Okay.
So the hiring part is Scrum team. The Scrum team won't do the hiring. Hiring is actually responsibility of the actual manager. The development,
So yeah.
Yeah.
So here the Scrum Master role comes. If this is kind of impediment, right? He will remove that. Talking to the
Impediments
manager.
facilitator. Yeah, impediment facilitator. You see, Scrum Master say that, hey guys, where are we? The development team they say that, yesterday, good news, yesterday one of our co-worker left the organization. Then again, what he did, see, somebody has to do that work, right? So then Scrum Master like, okay, then let me go back to the development manager. He said that, hey guys, we need one more developer, because we are on the tight timelines, 2 to 4 weeks. Stakeholder is already, it's internal dialogue, right? So then they will get additional resource actually. See, this is another diagram, pretty much same thing. Like product backlog, product owner is owns the product backlog to sprint backlog. Then again, sprint, Scrum Master. Then there is like, once the sprint is over, this is a Scrum call, daily Scrum call. Just a graphical representation, whatever we discuss actually. So
Anna, product backlog to sprint backlog means in product backlog we'll be having lot of tasks and we'll be taking some as a
small
sprint
part,
backlog.
small part as a
And-
sprint backlog. Yeah.
And in that sprint backlog, we are taking other small part as a sprint.
No. Once the sprint backlog is pretty much enough work for the sprint. So we will lock it actually. We will lock it once we accept. See, I'm telling, right? Product backlog. If the product backlog has a 100 tasks, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So if we decide to do like a 20 tasks at a time, then the sprint 1, 20 tasks, sprint 2, 20 tasks. I'm just giving an example. They don't have to be even same number, right? So sprint one is like 10 tasks, 20 tasks. So then we will decide, okay, which 10 tasks out of 100 or 20 tasks. Out of 100, we have to pick up 20 tasks. So that's where the product owner and all the Scrum team, we have like a sprint review. In the sprint review, not sprint review, sprint planning. Sorry, sprint planning. In the sprint planning, we all decide, hey, we need to pick up 20 out of this 100, or we need to pick up 10 out of this 100, right? So whatever. So then they will decide, oh, stakeholder wants this functionality first, so other things can wait. So then they will pick up like, whatever stakeholder wants, because who is the sponsor? Stakeholder, right? So yeah. Then they will pick up a small part, that is a sprint backlog. Once the sprint backlog is over, sprint review, sprint retrospection. Then they will go back and they will pick up the next part from product backlog. Again, based on the needs, stakeholder, based on the team, and like that. So they will complete everything until the product backlog is completed. Sometimes we leave few items in the product backlog also. We will leave them because stakeholders say that, oh, enough, these things are enough. You can discard this one. There are actually Scrum teams. Actually, they set up a Scrum to develop a product. In the middle of the Scrum, actually, stakeholder might say also, hey guys, we don't have enough funding and we don't see the need of it. We drop it. It happened many times in companies. It happens in the middle of the Scrum. They drop everything also.
Yeah, I think that's what the stage is. We welcome the changing requirement.
Yeah. See, I'm telling you, right? See, whatever we learn in the class, awesome. But in the real world, it may not happen. Real world, actually, we do like just a small part of it. So whatever you learn in the class is like a product backlog, never ending backlog. whatever we do in the workplace is like a sprint backlog. Just we do like small part of it. And whatever fits your organization, that's what we do. Yeah. So that's what this is all about learning concepts, just learning concepts. And there is like a different multiple players there. So that's why we don't get panic when we go to the workplace, when we are called into the Scrum meeting, daily Scrum meeting. Somebody calls us a daily Scrum meeting, then we are like, what is that? We don't have to put a big question mark, right? So we know that, oh yeah, Scrum meeting. Okay, got it. In the Scrum meeting, actually, in the training, they say that Scrum meeting is not like a status call, right? They say that it is not for status call, but in the real world,
Right. It is a status call, I think.
real world,
Yeah,
you see different kind of theory.
right.
They're like,
That's true.
how long do you need the time? You can hear this kind of things actually.
See, yesterday we already discussed why we're not able to complete this task today. What happened?
Yeah, it will be there only in the real world, right? See, the Scrum Master. See, the Scrum Master. Sometimes the Scrum Master is not a dedicated Scrum Master. Scrum Master can be a manager can act like a Scrum Master. A project manager can act like a Scrum Master, or one of their lead can act like a Scrum Master. A Scrum is like a temporary adjustment. But in the real world, if he is a manager, right? If he is a manager and the rest of the team members are report to him, right? In the Scrum environment, even though the theory says it sounds really good, everybody is equal. Nobody
But
bosses,
yeah,
nobody
but
bosses nobody. But actually,
yeah,
it may not happen. Yeah. So,
but it is possible like product owner also act like a scrum master because they are both are what we have studied so far, two different roles, and they should not be same actually.
they should not be. I mean, because see, they're different role, right?
Yeah,
See, the
yeah,
problem is, see, if the product owner became a Scrum Master, problem is product owner always tries to push a lot of things,
right. Commit so many things.
commit
Yeah,
so many things. Sometimes they look really good, right? What they will do, they will commit like 100 things to the stakeholder,
right,
and they will come and nicely they will say that, hey guys, can you finish this one? They're like, what? They really curse him.
right,
here the
right.
here the curse. You see, the Scrum Master role is like he's like a referee, makes everyone happy. But the product owner, they hate him actually because he brings all the work and they dump on their head, right? Who likes them, right? It's like a conflicting role. Yeah, yeah.
But that is
See,
also important for the productivity of the team. I think.
yeah, definitely. See, even in the real time world also, right? There are like different
Mm-hmm.
names actually.
Okay.
There is a different roles. Actually, product owner can be. There is a role called client care or professional services. Different companies use like different names,
Okay.
but there is like a product owner roles also there actually. Yeah, that's
So
good.
one question I would like to ask, like
Uh-huh.
difference between the product owner and the BA.
Yeah,
Like nowadays, I think the BA tag is getting off. I feel like everybody
yeah,
is like product owner.
can be because it's the same role, right? BA also same thing. They talk to the stakeholder,
Yeah,
or BA can talk to product owner, can document it. Instead of talking to the product owner, BA himself or herself can act like a product owner. They talk to the stakeholder and get all the get all the requirements and document them and pass it on to team.
so depend on the seniority. I feel like maybe.
Depends on companies also. Some companies,
Okay,
they don't see the need of they don't see the need of this many roles. It's,
right.
it's a
Yeah.
complexity, right? Unnecessary, you know, bottlenecks. So sprint can be less than a week also. So 1 to 4 weeks is not a mandatory. It's not a mandatory. Guys, there might be one or two questions. It's one question. Sprint is like an average, like 1 to 4 weeks. It doesn't mean that it cannot go after 4 weeks. It cannot be less than 1 week. Not necessarily. It's not a rule on the rock. Okay. Yeah. Multiple scrum teams can work on the same product too, but they don't recommend it. But multiple scrum teams can work on the same product. In that case, what they will do, they will collaborate actually. Same product, but they're like, okay guys, you take care of these features and we will take care of these features. There should be like a agreement, or else it's a chaos, right? If they start working on the same task, these guys start working on the same task, such a waste of time, right? Yeah. So this is a running notes. Yeah, I took a few diagrams. I think he share did he share that one, whatever documents you guys did it in the class?
The sticky note one?
Yeah, he shared whatever he said,
Okay.
but he did. I think he did not share the activities we did.
Oh, he did not share that one. Okay.
I think so.
Okay. So let me check that.
Otherwise,
Let me check my notes. I should be having that one. He shared really good actually. Okay, sprint review. This is same thing again. Sprint review. What is sprint review? Sprint review, team, product owner. Yeah, product owner, stakeholder also part of it. Always, don't confuse with sprint review and sprint retrospective. And a team retrospective. Teams can be there. Overall retrospective. So forget about team retrospective, but just think about overall retrospective. Overall retrospective, stakeholder won't be there actually. This is one. Yeah. So there are a few points, right? Vishal is very good actually. So we went through this exercise, and I took a few points actually. You can expect a few questions from them, from in the exam from here. So these are the sticky notes. You see them? Whatever we did, the sprint planning, daily scrum, retrospective, sprint review. You guys see my screen?
yeah.
Yeah.
So these
Yeah.
are the sticky actually. These are the sticky notes, and we can expect the questions from here. So what is the developer role? Developer, and what is the this is a developer. This is a developer. This is a product owner. What are the roles of product owner? So what is the role of scrum master? Sticky notes. You see, right? Pretty much we did that, right? So yeah, same question actually. I can delete that. Okay. So do you think this notes is a bit helpful?
Yeah, and also he said, I think this Scrum guide will also help during the examination.
Yeah, it's open book actually. See,
Right.
I recommend you guys use every possible tool. Make sure that you keep your best buddy Google. Yeah. I mean, it's open book, right? So they also tell that use any possible way. So the boot camp is good enough, to answer the questions. Actually, it's very easy. Yeah. So far, all of our team members, everyone passed that exam. Non-IT, IT, and it doesn't matter actually. Everybody passed that exam. So that that's why 100% pass guarantee. Okay. But before examination, if you have any questions or something, many people call me before examination, because sometimes they don't see the exam, because they don't know how to. Sometimes we get confused, right? All of us, right? So time to time, so they go to the dashboard, they won't see the exam, they call me, and so if you have any questions, individual questions, right? So give me a call before you give the exam. I will tell you a few useful tips. You will crack it like anything. Okay.
Anna,
So
you have sent us this Scrum framework and 2 CSM notes kind of things, 2 links.
that is
we
the one
need
actually. Yeah, that is the one actually.
Okay. We need to study that Scrum guide and also this framework also.
Actually, the Scrum guide and the notes is enough, Ratali.
CSM notes.
Yeah, the notes actually, whatever your class notes or my class notes, that is good enough actually, any one of them. And Scrum, the Scrum guide is good enough. But I share like one more nice book. This is really good actually. If you have time, like it's about 100 pages, 112, but all these indexes and everything will be gone, right? 100 pages, about 100 pages. It explains very well actually. It's a very big text. It look like 100 pages, but you see the text actually. See the text. See, already we are at the 7th page. There is still introduction about the writer. 10 pages gone. So this is less than 100 pages actually. You can quickly go through that one. And good thing is it has a diagrams actually. Same thing here. See, Scrum Master. Let
Yeah.
me maximize a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
See
he
this?
give this rugby ball.
Yeah, rugby only. So
Yeah,
you got it
yeah.
right. Yeah, this is, see, one diagram, you can figure it out. Already we know that product one or sprint planning, product planning, how many times, we discuss like many times, right? So same thing here. Done. One diagram. Just take a quick look at here. Here it is. Yeah, that's good. So then he explained like what is the Scrum framework, Lightning. So it takes like a more organized way. If you like, some people like this kind of way. They wanna write, they want to read, right? They want to read a little bit more details before they want to give the exam. Yeah. So this is what I download from our Switzerland. The Switzerland certifications, project management, right? They have Scrum certification also. That's where I download this book actually. So product owner, sprint planning, same thing. Whatever we discuss it, same thing. Sprint retrospective meeting here. Overview of the Scrum framework. So then there are few explanation on top of it. Then you go a little bit further down. What is the Scrum Master roles? Whatever he discussed in the class, we have in the book actually. Now we understand this. We read this book very quick. We can read this book very quickly after the Scrum boot camp. See why I supplement this book, right? Boot camp, there is no guarantee that they discuss everything and there is no guarantee that we grab everything, we catch everything, right? So if you miss any points, it will be like a backup so that you don't miss anything. Again, same. Update backlog, sprint planning, daily sprint, same thing. One architecture diagram, if you, from our notes, right, we have one architecture diagram, right? You can answer like 10 questions easily using one diagram. And based on the timelines, there is another timelines, right? There are 2 to 3 questions. And there are questions on the roles of the product owner, Scrum Master teams. So this is very easy actually. Same thing actually. Time and cost, we see that release cost, develop requirement analysis, test release. We saw that actually. If you have time, go through this book quickly. So if you have time. So just I'm trying to explain each time. You see that, right? You guys did the same exercise here. Dashboard, sticky notes. In the real world, we don't use the sticky notes. We use this one like a Kanban board kind of thing. Software, right? Drag and drop using Jira or similar tools actually. Rally or Jira. Here again, budget, time, and quality. Every time we have to think about this one. Budget, quality, time. They cannot pump in a number of dollars, right? So there is a limit for everything actually. Budget, quality, time. So this one. Scrum team, again the same thing. Scrum responsible. Okay, here, Scrum owner talks to the stakeholder, and he's like a bridge between stakeholder and Scrum Master, Scrum team, right? So same thing. Whatever we discuss it, actually, there's nothing new. So let me. Yeah, it's a little bit more, a little bit lighter way. It's like a little bit joy, a little bit lighter way. He explained the concepts. Yeah, so it says like 100 pages, but most of these diagrams and everything, takes a lot and big text. Yeah. So sprint backlog, pretty much you see, pretty much whatever exercise you guys did it, same thing. Sticky
Right.
notes, you put it in the right, yeah. So it's nothing actually. Again, you see charts, Soumya, we talk about it, right? Burn down charts.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, these are the one actually. Estimated burn down, real burn down, and velocity. See what happened, for the executive level, right? Executive level means CTO or CEO level or vice president or someone, right? So they don't have time to go through like 100 pages document, right? So they will ask the leaders, hey guys, can you give the status of this project in a diagram? So project, this is what they give. So they will take a look at
So
it.
here
Yeah.
in this chart, this real burn down is going above the estimated burn down. So it's
Yeah.
not good, right?
Yeah. So they will figure it out. Okay, estimated one supposed to be here, but the real burn down is going here. The trajectory, right? The trajectory, how it is going this. They will get an idea actually. They're like, oh, can you explain what is going on here? If something looks suspicious. So it's like a grasping like a lot of data actually. lot of
So
data.
do we have questions on the burn down velocity, story points?
Story points, I did not see that, but story points, think about it. It's like a complexity,
Right.
complexity and time, risk. Based on it, we will prepare the story points.
Okay.
The bigger story points mean that is a complex task.
Complex task.
Lesser story point mean it's easy. So product burn down, sprint burn down. Go through this one. If you have time, I recommend you go through this one because they just enjoy that learning, right? Yeah. If you have time, or else their notes is enough, our notes is enough. And I will give you a few tips once I'm done with this recording. Yeah, go through this one, and if yeah, he's saying that, see, even the product owners, they can have a team. In the real world, all the product owner might report to another director of product owners or chief product owner, whatever it is, right? But for a particular Scrum meeting for product, he will say that, hey, product owner A, go to the team A, product owner B, go to the team B, team C. But if you see in the real world, A, B, C report to the product owner chief. In the real world, the report structure is like that. In the Scrum environment, there is no reporting, right? So product owner A will work with the team A, B work with the team B, C work with the team C. You see, this is like a actual reporting structure, and a temporary, this is Scrum team. Yeah, so that's what he explained actually here. Very easy. Yeah, go through this one. If you have any question before examination, if you have any questions and concern, give me a call and we will talk about it. Yeah, don't take hard on it. Very easy, very simple. You guys can crack it. All of us passed actually. Okay.
So what kind of interview question they will ask? Like the Scrum Master certification is
in the real interview
what
question,
you say?
Real interview question.
Yeah.
Oh, real interview
No.
question.
No, the thing is like I feel like this is for the experienced person, right? But yeah, it's give us a good knowledge just to know. For us, it's for knowledge. It's good to know, right? Just obviously you're not getting the role of the Scrum Master directly.
I mean, whoever is interested, whoever is interested in this kind of role, not everybody, right? Yeah, different people have different passion. Yeah.
The questions might be different based on the role. Right?
Yeah. I mean, if it is a real time job, real time job mean they will ask that, hey, can you explain your day-to-day activity kind of thing? Then we have to keep these concepts in the mind, and I will train you guys. So then we have to explain like, hey, we organize daily Scrum meetings, and we maintain the product. We coordinate with the product owner team, and maintain the backlogs. And we use it. They might ask that, what softwares you guys use? Oh yeah, we use a tool called like Jira. We use the Jira dashboards and Kanban boards. Just we have to talk about these concepts, and in the meantime, like, you have to present like real time what we are doing. Okay.
Yeah, that's what they want to ask about the projects only, what we have.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah. It's not only about concepts, but we have to give like we are doing it actually.
Right. That's what.
Yeah. Not like
that's
giving
the main
like
problem.
not like school children, right? Not like giving back the definitions back, right? We have to tell like
no, exactly how you apply those things.
Yeah. Whether we do it or not, we have to tell like, hey, this is what we do every day. We have Scrum calls. Yeah, we maintain this. Yeah, we maintain a lot of products. Then they might ask that, can you name one of the product? You work on it. So
yes.
then we can say that, yeah, I work on some MX project. Then you tell that. So then they might ask that, okay, what are the challenges you face it during the product? Then you will say that, yeah, there is in the while we are in the middle of the Scrum process, sprint process, and we lost some of the team members. They choose to left the organization. So that was very tricky time because we don't have so many resources that we had to bring somebody on board, get him trained, get him on the project. So it's really stressful, but actually it all worked out good. You always give like, though that is really, you always like positivity. You need to pump in the positivity, right? Even though story like a movie starts like a very sad story, but you have to give like a positive end. Everybody likes that, right? So similarly, this is not an exception. Yeah, people like that positive energy. Any questions? Team. Any questions? Rest of
No,
the
I think
No,
we are
no.
good. Yeah. Thank you so much for explaining. Yeah.
yeah.
Like
Raji,
very
any
good.
questions? Oh my pleasure, so man. Anytime. Yeah. Raji, do you have any questions?
No, no, no.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I am familiar with this terminology and so.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure, like, how the timings, especially the boot camp, will go. Like,
Yeah.
that's what. Yeah.
So that is good actually. So that is easily manageable breaks actually. Breaks. See, generally they ask us to be on the camera and on audio, right? Mic, right? But time to time, just we can unmute and take care of things. Because last time there was, the few people attended. They have little infants in the family, babies in the family. So yeah. So I talked to the instructor and said that okay, take care of family. And a few people actually they had to step out. They have to step out, take care of family, and they joined late or maybe they left early. So all these things are manageable. By now we are working very closely with the instructor and his team, right? So if anyone needs anything urgent, just let me know, then I will interact with them, and so that there will be flexibility in on top of the allocated breaks. That's what I was talking about. It's very relaxing environment actually. We are
How
paying.
long is the test, anyways? Like,
Oh, test is easy. I think 50 questions in 60 minutes.
oh, okay,
Yes,
it's 1
yeah.
hour test. Okay.
Yeah.
1 hour test. Very easy.
Mm-hmm.
Our instructor was little, I think, I don't know, but he was telling time to time, guys, those who are not on the camera, I'm considering you're not here.
Yeah. That's what they do. That's what they generally they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what they're supposed to do. They do that actually. But yeah. But it's okay because I already
But I
work
have
with.
seen actually most of the people like working, I think they're working in the camera only, camera was on, that's it. They were not interacting or not doing anything.
Yeah. On and off. People put like a camera on and off. Actually, that day I had to drop my kid at eye level, so I just sneak out. Yeah, so it happens actually, but but their expectations, right? It's pretty much like we need to simulate like a real-time environment, right? Real-time class. So that's what their expectations. Yeah, but they're very good at that. They consider something we need to take care of it. They consider it actually. Yeah, very friendly environment. Instructors are very professional. So good actually. But next time I'll check with yeah, Akash. He's very good at it.
So you were talking about some tips for the exam, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for that one, I need to